Alright, let's go back in time. This is me, 10 years old. And this is when I got my first DS.
Oh yeah, blue one.
Yeah, right?
Nintendo DSi, blue one, my favorite.
And is when I got my first Pokemon game, Platinum, which is still the best in my opinion. But anyways, with this old recording, I'm gonna take a nostalgic journey in today's generation of Pokemon using my old team, because I'm definitely not a normal 24-year-old going to nightclubs since I don't have a social life. But unlike my first time, I'm gonna be slapping on some extra rules to make it even harder. So with that said, comment down below on what your first Pokemon team was, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and with that said, strap yourselves in because this one is a blast from the past. Although it takes me a millennia to actually get started in this challenge thanks to this button mashing of an intro, I was inadvertently ready to start reassembling my team from 14 years ago. God, I feel old. I eventually take a first-class flight to Japan, get forced to battle, and, well, get thumped to the ground. But this gives the clear to catch our first Pokemon, and I say catch, don't really catch it. Because my child, I stare at a tree until I see a lost Professor Jock and get gifted an egg. And this gives the option for one of the 3 Sinnoh starters. So I hatched an egg and lo and behold, my very first Pokemon I ever owned was birthed. So with Jack, the cheeky monkey on the squad, our challenge starts by catching my first ever bird, Cotton the Starly. Also, there is a nickname theme for this challenge, so guess down below. Anyway, some level grinding later and we're ready to go olive picking for our picnic against the super scary Katy. That's a bit extreme. Cotton is leading against Nimble. We take 2 petty little kicks, but some wing mashers knocks out the bug alongside with eating a juicy spider, leaving a bear in a bug costume. Wait, isn't this a fetish we don't know about? One final wing attack puts it just over half and a swipe kills our bird. However, Jack is out, does a dance, and burns the bear with Ember. This means we eat Fury Cutter like kings and send it on the 6 feet. The result? A teenage karate monkey, a badge, and some cakes. Sweet. And hey, because the next one was a breeze, let's just evolve Cotton to Saravia and go straight to King Crab. It targets my bird first. But Ryan, why? Because, people, when I evolve my bird, its ability is now Intimidate, which helps when we hit hard against Anger Shell, and still hits hard despite the attack drop. Doughy scampers, eat some naughty herbs, and we go for round 2! But this time with a friend. The Titan was slain, and we win some lunch. But if you thought that was straightforward, then my team are in love with what's to come. So I walk in the gym, pick out some flowers for the beautiful lady running the gaff, and take on her angry husband. And well, it's safe to say I showed my alpha dominance, burnt his grass types to a crisp, so yeah, I steal a badge and his girl. Before we move on, I head backwards on myself and meet my new lion friend, although I really should say old. This is the 3rd Pokemon I had ever caught. Anyways, I called her Mittens, and she stuffed some sweets down her gob to grow into a Luxio. And Mittens will be the lord and savior of our ROM because we're dealing with a deadly titan that likes to mess with rocks. This is Paldea, a Pokemon with an insane ability that puts its moves on my team's knees. But not for this bee, because Mittens intimidates, takes a petty attack, and sparks up a bolt and spits it like it's nothing. He runs for the cave and that's the end of round 1. Brill. And on top of that, his Nagly shows late to the party, so the bird squawks, but we give the talk and send it to walk, or in this case, flap. We arrive at our next stop, and with our ship sailing comfortably, I was expecting some sort of resistance. Except I didn't expect any resistance, despite getting ganged up on multiple dark types. I would say I made this challenge pretty easy, although I'm probably going to jinx that. Giacomo! Full fiesta! Let's bestow! My monkey is up for a game of chess, and a quite effective priority Mach Punch gives us the early lead. But when his car intimidates, Jack plays tricking, and Mittens swaps out to intimidate back. Plus, we set a couple of layers before Snarl leaves us on just 3 HP. So with the setting up done, I switch back to Jack, eat an easy swift before low kicking the car to oblivion. I can't see that working in real life, but...
Monkey on the car.
Monkey on the car.
In typical Pokemon fashion, just how I'm used to Mr. Barry, I now have Nemona to deal with. And because of this, my Switch dies. Sweet. Anyways, I embarrass the girl, then play hide and seek against the Grandmaster of the Academy to make e-girl money. But why give a fake streamer game character money when you can simply subscribe to me? Anywho, Iono actually uses 4 Pokemon and is the toughest trainer in the game thus far. So I go to the beach to not get a wave, and catch my 4th squad member, Tinkerbell. I actually caught Rocks when I was 10 and not Curlier straight away, though the game's the game. So with a fair 4v4, it's time to battle. Watchroll is first against Jack, and lo and behold, a cheeky Flame Wheel doesn't get the kill. We eat a hefty pluck, but we take it down in turn 2, baiting out her big frog. So I go for the idea for a double Intimidate switch. So now I switch to Tinkerbell, and get fully paralyzed. Fab. We also miss a hypnosis, so he gives me a spanking. So I double Intimidate again, followed by using Leah until we get crit. Then Jack is out for some funny monkey business. We kick its nuts, and it was too short, but lo and behold, she puts us on the sliver, so a priority Mud Punch takes out the frog. Then we switch to Cotton to cancel Intimidate and take a huge spark so we can Endeavor. So this leaves a 2v1. Jack punts the cat to Africa, leaving Miss Magius. And well, we don't outspeed, and it connects a crit charge beam. Okay, new plan. Double Intimidate the Watchroll, followed by charging our special defense, and this would have worked if I didn't bait out her Luxia. So I get a single layer before going down, and to no one's surprise, Jack gets paralyzed. Fab! And yeah, that was another loss on our record. Remember when I said this would be easy? Yeah, I lied. However, I adjust my tactics and moveset, go back and forward until eventually it's just her ghost and my monkey. And well, slow it down with Rock Tomb and grab the cheeky win with a Flame Wheel. That was gruesome. But with that out of the way, I'm back to finding the next old friend that I caught, which was my gorgeous 2-tailed sea weasel, who evolves to one big weasel, teach it surf, and take on the fire squad. Yeah. Mella's Torkoal sets up the sun, but we counter right back and do a rain dance so we can surf them around the field. That was a nice change from the torture that I had before. And it gets even better when we were able to get flirtatious looks at the worm before Jack throws bananas at it and it wriggles away. We then grab our next badge, sit in the cave, and my bike does a toot. Onward! We arrive at Cascaratha, and there goes the gym leader on a quick dart and without cash, so I agreed to take his wallet, pinch a couple of pennies, and save his sorry. I mean, give him his money back. But also 2 squad members evolve, Tinkerbell and Mittens, which are much needed. Thank you very much. So next up is Kofu and his water-type gym team. It's a 3v3, so I bench Brer, Weasel, and Jack for the obvious reason fire doesn't like water. It's Veluza against our newly evolved Mittens, who takes 22 points of damage from Aqua Cutter, and a spark puts the fish to an unhealthy range. So on the next turn, it falls. Next is Wugtrio, so I go for the switch to Tinkerbell, and our traceability kicks in to slow down Wugtrio itself, so we can then outspeed, taking it out. All that remains is his Crabominable, and we set up Wish for an honorable sacrifice. Mittens is back out again and couldn't knock it out, so the Wish card fails. However, Cotton also intimidates and chips with aerial aces before a final quick attack seals its fate. Although one mistake and we would have lost. But our 4th badge means we're halfway there. With that done, we're also around the next place to catch my next encounter. A Gibble called Bruce. I swear, if no one gets this reference, just get out. I'm kidding, please don't unsub. Regardless, he evolves to Gabite, and we head towards the Lag Tree Thicket, beat up a kid, and discover the modern incarnation of Shakespeare. So I'm gonna punt him back in time. He does a flip, and I do a dab. Wait, that's not what happened. A stinky skunk emerges, and my monkey takes it on, getting the burn on turn 1. Toxic is a big threat, though we fight on, both fall into status damage. But I'll bet Reverum is next, so Mittens is up for Intimidation, which wasn't to expect. So Psychic Fangs takes out the goo, so this baits the car, so my cat goes for a poo. We avoid the bulldoze and eat an eye ahead, so endeavor to wither it down before my birdie plays dead. Bruce is next and doesn't actually hit, because for 3 turns, we flinch. Fab! And I'm out of rhymes, because I die. Nice. Round 2! And despite Toxic, we take out the skunk in 1, but Reverum lands a crit! We don't get flinched this time, so a quite effective Earthquake deals with him before Poison finishes us off. Jack is up against Muck, and then we get the burn and survive a second Sludge Wave. A final Flame Wheel takes it out. I may as well fall to this 4x4, and it luckily goes for Spin Out, which will work in my favor. For Mittens to come out, intimidate, and hit hard with Psychic Fangs. Gainage with Sliver before Noxious Talk gets too much. Cotton thankfully outspeeds, hits a hard acrobatics followed by quick attack, eventually giving us the win. Atticus, you will always be thy enemy. Oh great, now he's getting me to do it. Anyways, I managed to snap a couple of new evolutions for Cotton as well as Jack, and I do have to catch the free Eevee I got at Heart Home City, who is called Robin Hood, as my first evolution was Leafeon, so I grabbed the Leaf Stone too. With that said, I can eat some lovely medium fire blasted rice balls with a hint of lemon, but couldn't eat the medium fire blasted rice balls with a hint of lemon because the gym leader eats them instead. And he also battles me. Robin Hood gets his debut against Kamala, so I charm its attack twice before going to bed. But it's time to sweep. Jack is out, takes 19 points from a slam before we go Jujitsu on the bear. And the same thing goes for his snake. So this leaves the Raptor with 2 defense drops, intimidation, and possibility to outspeed. I don't want to play with a fire. So I switch to Mittens to intimidate back, gets scolded by the head chef, and doesn't go for the aerial ace. Okay? So I stay in, fail the paralysis, switch back to Jack, take the facade, and punt the bird to the moon. For once I get a clean sweep. Oh, and I send Nimona down to the dumps as well. So with an easy badge obtained, our next stop was in Montenevera? Regardless, I call my final encounter for this run a Sneasel. I obviously used different Pokemon too, such as Bidoof, my original H-Aim slave, and Togekiss, who aren't even this game. However, this was the team I rocked with in the final battles. So with my team sorted, I beat up Kit and MC Sledge and get the final evolution, Weavile. So now with my squad ready to go, it's time to battle. Rhyme starts with Mimikyu and Banette, and with my cat and bird to double intimidate, I switch out to eat a weak icy wind. Despite the speed drop, we still sweep. And because of this, she gets a boo and we get the buff, so to hit hard, we must. Play rough puts us on a sliver, but we stay strong and the dog falls from my hard hitter. Her lizard takes it out of misery, but even with her buff, a final Shadow Claw, and her ace is history. That was a hefty scrap if I'm honest. A little bit of a breather now as we return to the desert to send the robot elephant to my local recycling center. So with another Titan out of the way, destroying Nimona once more, and have a bit of a boogie, I'm now against the one and only Petal. Mittens versus the Giraffe, we buy hard, and thanks to a flinch, only one Zen headbutt later doing 33 points, and it's an easy knockout. Her Gardevoir is next, and Psychic puts us on the sliver, but Spark doesn't do enough, or the Parrot, so I hate to say it, but we fall. Lucifer retaliates with a Metal Claw, bringing out a Spot Threat. Assurance does massive damage as we take a petty Shadow Ball. 2 of these take out the Ostrich, just leaving them Florges. This thing is dangerous especially, but all but 2 Pokemon are physical, so we do a lot before Moonblast hurts. However, Cotton can finish off with acrobatics, I get a badge, and I throw her makeup in the bin. But you see, now we have a slight issue, because not only I'm cold, but Grusha has sexy eyes. Now, if I'm honest, our monkey can go ape shit. Anyways, a quad effective Flame Wheel takes out Frosmoth, followed by hitting hard close combats against Beartic, Titan, and Altaria. After the stress we had with Iono, after getting bullied by the Shakespearean lover, it's nice to see our squad reach its almost full potential. All that remains are a few more level up moves and getting our next target, Ortega. He uses a majority of fairies, though I have a way around things thanks to move coverage. I go for Robin Hood, Lucifer, Mittens, and Jack, but I think I'll only need one of them. So Robin Hood sets up Swords Dance before going underground on Bounce. 2 digs take out the rabbit, but he's not done yet, because 2 more Swords Dances and a petty Gyro Ball takes out his second rabbit. So with Max Attack, I Leaf Blade the entirety of his squad. Okay, I know that was kind of sweaty, but sometimes you just need the sweaty goals in life. However, that's not all, because we zap the fake Dragon Titan, then zap in the game, and lo and behold, we eat some fish, and a doggy likes sushi, so he wakes up and I caress my bike. Bit weird, but you know. And that's all before the one and only Eri. To be honest, only one is a bad matchup, so Lucifer will be on the school bench. Tinkerbell is up against Toxicroak, and we don't actually outspeed, so already this isn't looking good. However, we get the knockout, baiting out her ace and a Jalape, and yeah, that pig took us out of lights. Although Cotton can come out and intimidate the dead ghost, followed by some gymnastics that kills the pig's spirit and the other monkey. and her dog. Oh, by the way, I know you're all asking why I haven't used Lucario, and the truth is, I never used it.
What did you say, punk?
So with her pickup truck starting, I get some more cheerleader moves in before clutching on after a critical combat talk. So I get a final quick attack in before going down. However, Mittens can come out and play rough with the car until it conks out. You know, for my first ever team, this was the GOAT. No, not that GOAT. But will it be good against the ultimate Elite Four? To be honest, this was the most underwhelming Elite Four in any Pokemon game. I was pooing my pants 14 years ago. But nevertheless, Rika, let's kiss. Whiscash is first against Robin Hood. I'm on a setup, but it knows Blizzard, so he needs punting. So next was Camerupt, and I don't have a good switch, so expecting Fire Blast, I switched to Jack for an honorable sacrifice. This means on the next turn, Robin can come out and hit another Leaf Blade, take a crit poison jab like a champ against Donphan, so the elephant falls to 2 blades, but we miss after Sandstorm is set. So I double intimidate with Mittens and Cotton and wait for the Sandstorm to shoo, and acrobatics take it out. So this leaves Clodsire, who doesn't take 2 acrobatic stunts well, so we get the win. Hoppadom! Jack is against Copperaja, and luckily it's an Oko close combat. This bait out her Steel Raven, and with my defense stats lowered, I switched to Mittens. Intimidate 2. I was expecting Brave Bird, but okay. Tinkerbell is the only one specially offensive, so despite the weakness, we outspeed and put it on a sliver. Luckily, we take Iron Head without trouble and take it down in turn 2. Magnezone is next, so I set up Wish expecting Light Screen, but I fall to Iron Head. Sweet. Jack gets a crit Flame Wheel as it sets up specially, which does nothing against us, so we burn it to the ground. Bronzong is out, so I switch to Lucifer for free before I flop the bell to half with Assurance. We're left with 18 HP after Iron Head, but we get it gone. So this leaves Tinkaton, and I may as well do a little chip damage before going down to Giganton Hammer. This gives Jack the safe opportunity to close combat one last time and finish off her not-so-steel team. Alright, Larry, mate, you need some sleep. And well, he didn't really need to fight me because thanks to Lucifer's attack and speed, as well as resetting Intimidate drops to Mittens, this was an easy sweep. It's not even worth commenting on it. Hassel hits on like Donkey Kong. His Noivern can only be outsped by one of mine, and that's Lucifer. So he gets muted to a Quad Ice Spinner, and despite a huge Iron Head from Haxorus nearly taking us down, we were able to make quick work of his dragons until we get to his ace, Baxcalibur, who, whilst Terrastalize, is a huge threat. Regardless, the strong Ice Spinner puts it down a half before our sweeping Weasel falls. So Mittens intimidates and has play rough, so after taking a Glaive Rush, we have beaten the Elite Four, and quite easily too. And to put salt in the wound, the Elite Four is Clown Rats, and Geeta, well, she just got tossed on the roof, so it's a bit naff for a champion. Oh, I'm wanting a bit of a scrap. So with Spellthrower is against Lucifer, and a critical Night Slash was all we needed. Avalog is next, and expecting Body Press, I switched to Tinkerbell to take a whopping 22 points of damage, before a huge Moonblast. It falls short, and we have to take the Earthquake, but on turn 2, he falls. King Gambit tries Iron Head, but after switching to Jack, so a quad effective close combat takes it out. Again, it baits out her fish, so Lucifer returns to hit hard with Night Slash, which just falls short. And we get crit! Despite the death, Cotton can quick attack to cover Aqua Jet, followed by acrobatics on her goat, leaving a slimy, terrastalized alien monster flower thingy, I don't know. But a close combat crits, and with that, I have beaten the Champions League. Definitely not as scary as my first rodeo. So with that out of the way, I can then take on Arvin, and honestly, that was a sweep. Directly Clavel, and I'll be honest, that was a bit of a sweep. And Penny, who, surprisingly, was a walk in the park. Sweet. This just leaves Nimona, who may seem easy, but she has the best coverage against me. So, yeah, let's do this. Palika Rock is as usual against Jack, and we actually outspeed to steal an early lead with a Combato Quipple. But I was not expecting this face so soon in the battle. So we hit him again, and it's on a sliver. Because of our defense drops and a crit, we go down. Tinkerbell comes out with a quick retaliation, and her dragon comes out to play. I swear this is amazing RNG, or I'm not seeing something. And yeah, I get sludged. And I also get poisoned and I get outsped. You kind of get where this is going now. Lucifer gets the revenge before we switch upon Palmot to Cotton, and she takes the contact very well. Then we switch again to Mittens to resist the double shock, and yeah, take another close combat to the face. 2 to be exact, because we miss. All is well when we take out the bear, paralyze the snake, and dodge the drill run. So I take the opportunity to switch for free and intimidate once more, scrapping with the snake. This leaves a cat magician. To be honest, my cat with a magician hat would be pretty cool. Anyway, after getting outsped by the dangerous cat, Lucifer can come out, hit the stab ice spinner, and put it to a sliver. We eat a huge play rough, but a final hit concludes the final battle. Or so you thought. Because, my friends, it's just myself and Mr. Turo standing. Last guess is in the comments if you think we can beat this monstrous team. Here we go. Moth is up first, and a quad earthquake from Jack gives us an early lead. Quad earthquake the dinosaur, 2 for 2. Now we're hitting the ground running. Bundle is next, and I get to go apeshit as he sets the snow. And we hear a huge raging fury before, I get knocked out by the air. But that's okay, because Lucifer can finish Robo Abomination before switching out to Mittens to a fake out from Hands. I'm able to play rough with the Paradox, but no attack drop, sadly. But Lucifer comes back out, Ice Spinner chips away, leaving a rather scary Valiant. But he's slow, so a Poison Jab to the crotch, and that didn't kill. Tinkerbell just survives a returning Poison Jab, and Psychic is all we needed. And there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, we just beaten Turo and Pokemon Violet, and if it wasn't for these two, we would have been for a rough time. I thank you all very much for watching and supporting the channel. If you haven't already joined the family, then do consider hitting the subscribe button, and let me know what you want to see next. Until then, bye-bye!